Blackout Broadcast, your ultimate source for everything related to EMPs, CMEs, and lightning protection for your homes, businesses, and your vehicles. I'm your host, Mike Bellemare. Got my two co-hosts with me, Jed Staples on my right, and Mr. Sean LaBelle behind the computer over there. You'll hear his voice. We don't have a camera on him today. We'd like to thank everybody who tuned in to our episode last week. We did go through a lot of the comments. We'll touch on some of those here at the end and try to answer questions the best we can. A lot of the comments were going over solutions, which we'll touch on in here, but the main point of the broadcast for the first several episodes is just going to be informational. We're going to be giving you guys as much information as we can about why EMP Pro exists and why the entire country needs to be mitigating and putting these devices on every electrical panel and vehicle in the country. So real quick, first thing I want to touch on is this article that Homeland Security put out. It's electromagnetic pulse shielding mitigations. This one is dated August of 2022. And you can find this on our website, but if you'd like to search it yourself, you can just go on Google, Homeland Security, EMP protection, and you'll find it in the first 3 or 4 categories that pop up. So I want to read this to the listeners. It's a little lengthy, but the fact is Homeland Security put this article out March 26th of 2019. They touched on it February 12th of 2013. So Homeland Security and the federal government have been putting mitigations in place for well over a decade now. And it's obviously of such a severity that Homeland Security put out an article to the public that the public should be putting mitigations in place. So this article says, the civilian critical infrastructure, CI, within the United States faces threats from man-made electromagnetic pulse, EMP attacks, and from natural EMPs caused by major solar storms. As described in Executive Order EO 13865, coordinating national resilience to electromagnetic pulses, an EMP event has the potential to disrupt, degrade, and damage technology and critical infrastructure systems. Public awareness of man-made EMPs began on July 9, 1962, following the Starfish Prime test, during which the U.S. detonated a 1.4 megaton thermonuclear weapon 250 miles above Johnstone Island in the mid-Pacific. On the Hawaiian island, 900 miles away, burglar alarms were triggered, circuit breakers opened, and over 300 streetlights in Honolulu failed nearly simultaneously. A few months later, to better understand EMP effects, the Soviet Union conducted a series of high-altitude nuclear tests over southwestern Siberia, inadvertently demonstrating the weaponization potential of high-altitude EMP, which is known as HEMP, as revealed to U.S. scientists in 1995. So this article was put out to tell the public about the threats from EMPs, which is man-made devices as well as the big light bulb in the sky. So today's episode, we're going to go over some of the current events that are happening, some of the current threats, and it's just building on why we need to put these devices into our homes and our vehicles. And we just can't stress, like, time is of the essence, and there's not many people talking about this. So that's why the blackout broadcast was put into place, is we just want to update the public and make you guys aware. So Jed, you found some interesting stuff when you were diving down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, I was just checking out what would be the threats from, other countries. And it basically says, Dan Galanton, a former senior Defense Department official, asks in his recent article in the Washington Times, is America on the path to another Pearl Harbor, but with China? And I guess China will let us know soon. That's what he has referred to in that article. It's actually a pretty riveting article. It's in the Washington Times. It's worth a read. And, it's crazy to think about, just the threats that are here, China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and then international terrorists. I mean, we're literally the most vulnerable country in the world when it comes to an EMP threat.
And where did you find the information that stated that the United States is the most vulnerable? Who quoted that?
That was bear with me here. It says here that was based on the executive order when President Trump was in office to coordinating resilience against electromagnetic pulses. They did a study that revealed that we have pretty much the most electronical devices out of any country. As far as in our infrastructure, everything's computer managed, and we're at the most vulnerable state due to the high amount of electrical efficiency we have.
And I mean, everybody can relate to that. I mean, you're sitting at a computer or on a cell phone watching this podcast. So, I mean, we all know that we got the electronics. There's so much money being sent out of the United States to foreign countries to aid them with their wars or their needs. And everything we need as a country is just being brushed under the rug. I mean, if you look at the money that was sent to Syria, or Ukraine rather, I'm sorry, the money that was sent to Ukraine since 2014, $92 billion has been siphoned out of the American taxpayers' pocket to the Ukraine. Now, just for easy math, with the money they sent to Ukraine, we could have already protected over 92 million homes with one of these EMP shielding devices. And if you want to go to the granular, you go to the power companies, right? There should be federal money, first and foremost, getting put into the power grids to insulate the power grids from these attacks. I mean, $92 billion, you can insulate a lot of stuff here in the country to protect us. Now, that's not to say that the federal government and the military isn't doing anything, right? So the military's been insulating their infrastructure for about a decade now. That's where this technology here came to be. It was invented for the military to protect their vehicles and their infrastructure, the electronic technology infrastructure, from an EMP or a CME. So our government's been doing this for 10 years. And now here we are at the tail end, and we're here telling the American people, like, hey, we got to do this right now.
Yeah.
What else do you got for us, Jed? What else did you find?
Well, I mean, based on an article out of North Korea, it actually applauds America's domestic chaos right now, and it's proof that democracy does not work, and the future belongs to totalitarian states such as China. America looks fragile to dictators who would replace the U.S.-led world order with a new one dominated by themselves, which is pretty crazy. And China has, warned us about EMP attacks because of their issues and conflicts in the South China Sea. So we have 3 aircraft carriers in the Pacific right now. I mean, this is a real threat. I mean, they literally, in a newspaper in Shanghai, they stated, this is Shanghai Communist Party Central Committee. Hopefully the U.S. Navy is better prepared to cope with an EMP attack than the DOE or the DHS. A nuclear EMP attack against U.S. aircraft carriers is the key to victory in China's military doctrine. That was literally published in a newspaper from the Communist Party in Shanghai. And that's pretty wild that they're basically threatening us. If we don't leave them alone, they're going to throw an EMP at us.
We're launching the biggest giveaway we've ever had on this channel. We're giving one of you this fully customized Chevrolet Silverado Trail Boss Z71 thanks to Vanish. I love this thing. The Vanish holster is the most comfortable holster I've ever worn. It's made with premium materials that enhance all-day carry for the everyday American. This is an incredibly versatile holster that works with 99% of modern handguns, allows you to carry 2 extra magazines, and can be worn in just about any configuration you can imagine. To enter, all you have to do is click the link in the description and get yourself the most comfortable holster you've ever worn with a money-back guarantee. And Vanish will hook you up. They're knocking $50 off the retail price for anyone who buys using our special link below. Get an exclusive discount and extra entries this week only when you use our link below. Don't wait, because this giveaway ends in a few weeks.
So the military, just to give everybody a little bit to sleep well at night, the military has been protecting their infrastructure. They were the first to do it, obviously. These devices have been being installed in federal installations and military infrastructure for about a decade. That's where this executive order came to pass, was to now say, hey, we need businesses and citizens to protect their infrastructure as well. So, I mean, it's not news to anybody watching this. If you're watching this podcast, good chance you picked it up on Survival Dispatch. Big shout out to Chris Heaven over there. We appreciate you for working with us and getting us on your channel. All your listeners, they're aware of the threats we face from EMPs. And I will slide back to CMEs, coronal mass ejections. I feel a coronal mass ejection would be the more likely cause of a widespread outage that would affect everybody. And that's only because solar activity has been increasing. And we had one listener leave us a comment, and this is why I love the comments. It's the group tank, right? The group think. Everybody has something to add. Everybody has a piece of information that someone else is missing. One of the comments, they were talking about how since the Carrington level event in 1859, I believe, it weakened the Earth's magnetic shield about 30%, which means that any CMEs that have been following affect us far greater than they did before the Carrington event. So again, I feel a CME would be the bigger cause of widespread power.
More likely. You know, I hope it goes that way versus an attack. You know, that would be seriously devastating for the United States at our current level of protection.
So I mean, if whether it's the sun, whether it's an EMP attack, or let's just talk about Orlando, Florida for a minute. Orlando, Florida is the lightning capital of the world. Insurance companies pay out millions of dollars a year for damage caused by lightning, and EMP Shield's home device guarantees protection against lightning, so much so that if there was ever a fail in the system, they'll send you $25,000 if their unit does not protect your home or business from lightning. Right. So, I mean, right now, we just want everyone to know that there are solutions. We can start to insulate the infrastructure now. It's my understanding that there are devices that are going to be coming out hopefully soon that you can actually mount to transformers. Another listener commented that the big problem, if the power grid was to fail caused by an EMP or a CME, is the destruction that it would cause to all of the big green box transformers that you may see outside your development, your home, or the round units that hang on the power poles. Those are transformers. I believe EMP Shield is working on units to install on transformers. I could be wrong. We'll get some facts on that. But EMP Shield is working hard to produce solutions that cover everything. And my hope is, fast forward 10 years, that these devices become code. It's just common practice, just like a GFI in a bathroom, where we need to put it into all new infrastructure built and have that insulation as a modern, technologically advanced society. That's where EMP Pro comes in. So EMP Pro, powered by Switch It Up. Switch It Up is a fully licensed and insured electrical contractor that primarily does what you would call green energy. LED lighting, EV charging stations, solar panels, and battery backup systems. EMP Pro is very specific. EMP Pro is your turnkey provider for all the product you see on the table, plus many more options, where we come in, we install it, and we provide you with a letter of attestation stating that it was installed by a licensed electrical contractor that you then have on hand to give to your insurance company so they know everything was up and above board.
We're launching the biggest giveaway we've ever had on this channel. We're giving one of you this fully customized Chevrolet Silverado Trail Boss Z71 thanks to Payne Safari. America's not as safe as it once was and is getting crazier by the day with open borders and ridiculous policies that let criminals walk away scot-free after committing crimes, which is why always having a way to defend yourself is a good idea. Guns may be the best solution for taking out bad guys, but not everybody can or wants to carry a gun. That's where this incredible flashlight comes into play. It's called the Shockwave Torch by Pain Safari, and this innocent looking and super bright light is anything but harmless. It's so powerful, it has this built-in safety and only charges when plugged into the wall. But press this button and it will discharge a brutal stun gun that will turn a 350-pound man into a crying baby. Equip you and your loved ones with a Shockwave Torch. These are a must-have for anyone, from moms, dads, daughters, you name it. It's the simplest thing that you could ever own to help boost your chances so some dirty thug doesn't turn you into a victim. Get an exclusive discount and extra entries this week only when you use our link below. Don't wait, because this giveaway ends in a few weeks.
Blackout Broadcast brought to you by EMP Pro. If you want to check out our website, you can go to EMPPro.com, and we have all of our packages listed. All the pricing is in there, and that pricing is solid across the entire 48. We'll honor that pricing anywhere in the country. It's turnkey.
Nice.
We send the product, and we vet and send a licensed electrical contractor to come and install it for you. If you are a DIYer and you like to do this stuff yourself, you can go to empshield.com, and you can use our promo code, which is EMPPro50, and you can save $50 off each device that you buy. And again, if you buy a device and you have a question on how the thing goes in, or you want to reach out to a member of our team, you can call 833-EMP-PRO4, and one of our people will chat with you and point you in the direction of how to get this thing installed yourself. As an electrician, I do highly recommend that you have a licensed electrician install this. It just ensures that it's done right, and you don't have to look over your shoulder and wonder if there was anything goofy that went on when it went in.
And also void the warranty as well.
So if you're looking to get this installed, go to EMPPro.com. Check out the packages we got. If none of those packages work for you, you can go to the a la carte menu and you can literally build your own package, and we can install it for you. Jed, any other information?
I'm just reading here, the Department of Energy and the Department of Homeland Security have done nothing to protect the national electric grid or other critical infrastructures to sustain the lives of 330 million Americans. Nothing.
Instead, while they're sending over $90 billion.
I mean, they put non-expert bureaucrats that conducted endless studies and conferences to wrangle over technical issues, in effect reinventing the wheel regarding EMPs instead of listening to what has already been done. And an order was put in place by Trump to get this done. It's literally a war to protect America. I mean, we have this opportunity, and now it's now put on the public until, Congress or Senate puts it back into where there's funding to get this done. Because
so I think where a lot of people get hung up is you start to talk about war and EMP threat from a nuclear device from a foreign country, which is all fine and well. If you don't want to talk about EMPs, you don't want to live in that world and think that that's actually happening, which it is.
It is.
But so for devil's advocate, we'll just say we won't think about EMPs. The fact is the big light bulb in the sky, our sun, emits coronal mass ejections that would dwarf anything a man-made EMP could possibly do. And that threat has been increasing year over year for the last 100 years. And all of the information coming out states that it's not a matter of if we get hit with the CME large enough to take the grids down, but when. So we're literally sitting on a ticking time clock where we can't see the timer, and we don't know how much time we got left before an event like that happens. So again, it gets put on us as the American public. We pay taxes. They use that money and send it overseas to help other people. So now, to protect ourselves and our families, we have to put this into our own hands. So again, that's where EMP Pro comes in. We are all about helping families protect what matters most, and that's you and your family. You can get solar panels, you can buy generators, you can have all that stuff on your house, you can have a compound with food and weapons and ammunitions and feel like you're completely insulated in the event that something goes down. But the fact is, if we get hit with a coronal mass ejection that takes down the grids, your generator's not going to work. All the electronics in your generator are toast. But if you install a generator mounted unit, your generator is still going to work. Your solar panel, your batteries, and your inverters are still going to work. So anyone out there that's spending money to prep and be prepared, all of you have some kind of backup power system. That's a fact. You got a battery, you got a solar panel, you have something to power up an electronic. Well, you need to bolt this on to your prepper kit, because without having EMP, CME protection, all that money you spent, all of those generators, batteries, and solar panels, they don't mean anything. So it's very important. I mean, today's episode is literally to say this is a real thing, everybody. This is something that we all have to look at, and we all have to start to prep for now.
Yeah, and it's not going to break the bank, and it's been military tested. This is a product that's definitely been thoroughly tested. And if you go to EMP Shield, they have all kinds of documentation about the tests they've done. And, further as we go, we're going to have videos of how to install, what it looks like installed, stuff like that,
Well, the best part is everybody loves third-party testing.
Yeah.
Survival Dispatch. If you scroll through Chris Heaven's videos on Survival Dispatch, we have independent third-party testing where we have pumped 800,000 volts into one of these home units, and it doesn't just take the hit once and then quit. This thing took repeated hits at 800,000 volts and kept protecting everything attached to the device. So they work. There was a comment in the comment section telling people not to trust in a product that you can't even test. Well, that's 100% fake news, false information. Yeah. This stuff has been tested by a third party, and it works. If you want to see more information on it, you can go to EMP Shield's website, where they have the documents showing the military spec testing that they've used. And the fact remains, I mean, the military, all big three-letter organizations, they're using this. They're using EMP Shield's product right now. Why? Because it's the bee's knees, arms, and legs. It's the best product on the market that will protect your electronics in the event of an electrical disturbance.
Yeah, I mean, it's a need. It's necessary. There's no getting around this. There's too much electronics in our day-to-day lives. If we don't protect them, it's going to be an economic crisis at the very least. With the, and I know solar maximum is what, 2025?
July 2025.
Yeah, so you're going to start seeing these CMEs just constantly getting bigger until July 2025, and then even further, due to the fact that our poles are shifting by 30%, the north and south pole right now.
Even at the peak, which is an estimated timeline of July 2025, even then you still got the decline where the sun is still shooting CMEs at the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we could get half this country protected with EMP Shield product, that's way better than where we're at right now. Yeah. Because right now the power goes out. I mean, you're talking chaos. The power goes out. They say within 90 days, at least half of the country's population is gone. People just ripping each other apart for whatever they can get. So
it's crazy.
Looking at the facts of what this country faces by natural means, man-made means, we need to start insulating. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this needs to get pushed to the point where we're going to the government, we're going to Congress saying, hey, you got to put money on the table to insulate our infrastructure. Stop sending money overseas. Stop giving money to everybody else to do what they say they need to do when half that money goes in somebody's pocket. That money needs to stay in-house, and this country has to start insulating immediately. Time is of the essence.
Yeah. I mean, how about we spend some money on the American people instead of all these illegal immigrants and wars that we have nothing to do with? I understand we are kind of like the police of the world, America, but we can't forget about our citizens and our safety as a country. This is something that we have to do. It's not like, oh, well, we'll just see. This is a must. And we've got a great product here, and we've got the ability to install it in a timely manner nationwide.
I mean, I would love to say, like, kumbaya, right? Everybody's happy, but that's not the state of affairs. I mean, the whole world, I mean, let's be real. Every country on this planet needs to be putting measures in place to protect against the common threat, which is the sun. However, we live in America. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and I love this country. So first and foremost, we have to protect our own and what we have here before we send money anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a must. I mean, you're talking what, 7 to 10 years if we get hit.
Oh, and that's the transformers. So the comment that that person left in the comments about the transformers, that's exactly right. The bulk of the transformers come from Mexico. Something goes down. If they have any that still work, if you think they're sending those out of the country on a truck, the truck probably won't be running, and they ain't going to send their transformers anywhere.
Yeah, they'll need those for their own.
They're going to keep those in-house.
Yeah, which is, the grid is definitely the most vulnerable piece of our infrastructure. The power grids are not protected at all.
I mean, I started switching up 8 years ago, and it was a bar napkin idea, and it grew to massive multi-million-dollar venture very quickly. So the reason I mention that is scalability. EMP Pro has the ability to deliver and install products very quickly. If we could get traction on this, we could have homes protected very quickly, and we could multiply our efforts across the country with the help of all these licensed electricians, electrical contractors, and obviously our manufacturer, EMP Shield, which is based out of Kansas. This is an American-made product made by American workers in an American factory in Kansas. So by buying this product, you're supporting an American worker, and you're keeping money in-house. You're keeping it here in the United States. So EMP Pro is here to help the American people. And the scalability of this, we could scale this very quickly, and in no time at all, we could be protecting 50% or better of our infrastructure within 24 to 48 months. Yeah. This could scale very, very quickly, and we would be able to protect as much infrastructure as possible, as fast as possible.
That's great.
And we got Sean over there hiding behind the monitor. What do you got for us, Sean? You got any fun facts?
No, but I do. Anybody that's in the Colorado area, if you want to come check out some of this products, we'll be at the Tanner Gun Show in Colorado Springs, June 14th through the 16th. And I believe we have another show in October. It's a prepper convention that we're going to have a table at as well. And you'll be able to subscribe to the Blackout broadcast there, as well as the YouTube channel. And we're going to have a giveaway raffle of a complete home protection package, which is nice. Couple $1,000s worth of equipment and the install. So
anybody watching this, if you're watching it on Survival Dispatch platform, Cloud Hub platform, or organically through YouTube, Vimeo, Patreon, wherever you're watching this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and become a member of the Blackout Brigade. As this thing gains traction, we're going to have up-to-date news on solar storms. We're going to have up-to-date information on potential EMP threats, and just information that the entire public needs to be aware of. You're not going to have the mainstream media telling you much about anything. They want everybody to live in a hole and not think for themselves. So if you're already prepping, like I said, you have thousands of dollars put into your preparation. It's time to bolt this on to whatever backup power systems you have. Then you know that everything you have is still going to work. We got to do something as a collective. Yeah. I mean, I can't say it enough. I wake up and my heart's beating fast every morning. Like, people need to know about this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you mentioned mainstream media. I haven't heard diddly about EMPs or the potential threats of CMEs at all on the news, and from all platforms. But there is a lot of information out there, and the more we dive into it, the more this is becoming a much needed upgrade for our infrastructure. I mean, we can't control the weather. We can't,
I mean, there's polls that are ran, and 68%, over 50%, 68% of all the polls that are ran, America is concerned about a grid down scenario. Yeah. I mean, the power goes out. There's enough TV shows on Netflix and Amazon Prime that give everybody a little peek through the keyhole on what that would look like if
sure.
shit went sideways. Am I allowed to say shit?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's legit though. I mean, I had my power go out yesterday in Cap Hill, Denver, for 5 hours, and I was like, man, what am I going to do about my fridge? Like, it was the first thing I was like. Plus, I couldn't cook food, so I had to go somewhere to get food, and I was like, well, I got a couple more hours, and I'm gonna have to cook all my food because it's thawing, and
Yeah.
it'll go bad. And I was like, man, that's 5 hours.
Well, I mean, did Young tell you the story? She lives in Washington State, and over a week ago now, when that solar storm came through and the aurora borealis was visible as far south as Texas and Florida,
Yeah.
being in Washington State, the development she was in, a lot of the houses had breakers just randomly tripping. A bunch of people had ceiling fans toast; they just stopped working, and that was due to the solar activity from a couple of weeks ago.
And that was a brand new housing development.
Yeah,
Like
with
brand new.
state-of-the-art breakers and arc faults and everything. Yeah,
Without the EMP shield, worthless.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not an expensive item. It's literally
so real
a
quick.
no-brainer.
So real quick, we've been talking about EMP shield. So there's several options. I mean, they have them for everything. So we'll start with this guy here. So this guy here, this is a 120 volt for a two-phase circuit, and this is an internal mount. So this would go inside your panel, and then this little indicator light would mount on the sheetrock outside, little LED diode, so you know that it's working. And this unit installed, $997 out the door. Taxes, everything included. $997 get you the unit, get you the install, get you the warranty, and a letter of attestation stating that it was done by a fully licensed and insured electrician. And then you got the internal mount units that this would go. I'm sorry, this is an external mount unit. So if your panel's mounted between 2x4s and it's just in a unfinished basement or something, this is the unit you would use. And we don't have one of everything on the table. It would just take up too much space. But there's also units to protect your inverter and supercharger. So if you have solar panels with an inverter and batteries, you need this. Without this, your batteries are toast. The inverter that charges the battery is toast.
Yeah. So you just got a fancy yard decoration at that point.
Yeah, you got panels on the roof harvesting sun that you can't do anything with. So anyone that's thinking about putting solar in and you haven't done it yet, for a small ad, you got to put the solar unit on. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And again, you can go to EMP Shield's website, empshield.com, put in our promo code EMP Pro 50, and you can get $50 off the device and have it on site when the solar guys come, and I'm sure they'd plug it in for you. Anybody who owns any solar companies that's watching, if you're not offering this as an add-on to your solar systems, you're crazy. This should be in your bag of tricks, and you tell the customer why they need it, and for a small charge, you just bolt it on, add it to the system right out the gate.
You got to figure it's less than a pair of new tires. It's a no-brainer, and we can get it done efficiently in less than 1 day, half a day of your time.
Yeah, I mean, we can come in with one of our premium packages, and we can protect your panel, a solar panel array with batteries, inverters, a backup generator if you have one, as well as multiple vehicles, and we could have it done in a day.
Yeah.
We could come in 1 day for some short money, and everything you have is now protected in the event of an EMP or a CME.
And you got to think everything that's protected on that panel, so everything plugged in to that panel. So every wire, every outlet, if you got a tablet, if it's plugged into the wall, that's protected. So if all your electrical devices are plugged into your protected home, that in turn protects all your computers, all your tablets, all your storage devices.
That's the key component. You got to have it plugged in. Your charging cable on your tablet or your phone, to have it protected, it would have to be plugged into the charging cable.
Yeah.
So anything attached to the panel will protect anything downstream. And some of you listeners may be saying, well, what do I do with stuff that's not plugged in? Well, they sell Faraday bags. You can get all different shapes and sizes. You can get them as small as a cell phone, or I know Chris Heaven has some that you could put a person in. These Faraday bags are large enough to put anything and everything you got to put inside of it to protect it if it's not able to be plugged in.
So are we going to rock some foil hats or?
Yeah, I don't know. They say Sean, EMPs
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Tinfoil hats.
How to protect your brain from an EMP.
Shoot.
I don't believe there's any effects on humans with
No, I don't
EMP
think so.
or CME, so we're just kidding. But yeah, I mean, we gotta get prepared. That's why we're here. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna tell you every day till we're blue in the face. This is what's coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. So go to www.emppro.com and look us up. Check out the product that we're offering for turnkey install. If you're a DIY, go to empshield.com. Use promo code EMPPRO50. Get $50 off each device. Thank you for watching our second episode of the Blackout broadcast. And again, it doesn't matter what platform you're watching on. Click that like button, hit subscribe, and become a member of the Blackout Brigade. We're going to start having some really cool giveaways, and we look forward to the next episode. Until then, be safe, get protected.
CloudHub Meets, a safe, simple, and secure meeting platform with HIPAA-compliant paid and free plans cheaper than Zoom. There are no apps to install, no saved data, and no Big Brother tracking your every move. Sign up for CloudHub Meets today.